What's going on, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today's gonna be another very important video because I said it 1 week ago. I started diving into the base Memecoin ecosystem, starting extremely from scratch. I started with 0.3 Ethereum. My journey only started with that budget, and I'm gonna show you my wallet, and I'm gonna show you exactly how much I was able to make starting from that 0.3 ETH till today, after exactly 7 days of trading meme coins on a daily basis, of doing swing trades, and also putting some of my profits into some long-term allocations. Just like I did with my Solana video, make sure to check the Solana video if you haven't. I'm gonna give you some insights about what my thought process is. I'm gonna tell you what I traded, why I traded that, and some other takeaways which are definitely gonna help you set yourself towards the path of success of actually becoming a meme coin millionaire. Before we get started, of course, make sure to subscribe to this channel because I'm bringing daily videos just like this on a daily basis. Leave a thumbs up, it really helps with the algorithm and to bring my channel out there. And also make sure to follow me on X because I'm posting a bunch of alpha in there. And of course, if you want to join my group, I'm going to talk about that at the end of the video if you guys are interested in joining and printing like me and my community have been doing so far. Okay, so first of all, I said it, I don't want to talk shit in this video. So I'm going to show you my wallet, and I'm going to show you that this started right here in the approved swap for Bolt and 0.29 Ethereum as a starting point. My first trade was Bolt. I'm gonna get back to what I traded because, guys, no joke, there's been a lot of trades right here that I can show you, and I would have to stay here for like ages and ages. There you go. This is my portfolio. It corresponds to around 7 ETH or something like that. It's $25,000 that I was able to generate with 0.3 Ethereum. That is only $1,000. So I did a 25x on my money starting from $1,000, extremely little, which I'm sure that the majority of you guys watching, if you're watching this video, you probably have $1,000 to invest in crypto. This is what I was able to generate in a matter of just a single week. I'm gonna start by showing you what I have in my main portfolio. I'm gonna keep one pick secret because it's secret to my private community, so I'm not gonna disclose it yet. But you're already getting some juicy stuff because one of my secret picks that I'm actually disclosing today is Pepe 0x69. I have a dedicated video to this project tomorrow, so I'm gonna show you a complete review on why I'm so bullish on this project, so stay tuned for that. But what I can tell you is that I'm really betting on the success of this project for the simple fact that it's gonna get a lot of normies on board. Why? Because all of the normies are gonna see the success that the original Pepe on Ethereum did, and this project is gonna be a Pepe on Base. Base is an emerging ecosystem. It's a layer 2 for Ethereum, as you guys already know. So a lot of people are gonna be inclined as normies, as new retail investors jumping into crypto, to jump on this project because Pepe already made multi-millionaires, right? But Pepe on Base is gonna be a sort of catalyst because all the people are gonna be like, listen, this fund hasn't pumped yet, and Base is new, Ethereum is old. I'm gonna make money through Pepe Blue. Coinbase, majority of people are on Coinbase. They know how to operate from Coinbase, and they know how to use Coinbase wallet to buy Base tokens. And if they don't know it yet, it's probably going to become more and more mainstream. So this is one of my longer term accumulations. I think that I'm going to keep this for a few months and probably until the end of the year. And actually, to be completely frank, I'm a bit at a loss right now because I started accumulating this when it was 9 million in market cap, and right now it's 7 million in market cap. So this is one of the long-term holds in my wallet. Bolt, I'm going to talk about it in a second because there's a lot to talk here. That is also why, you know, I made so much money during this week. That is going to be one of the main catalysts for launching my portfolio. So I'm going to discuss that in a second. But you can see that out of the $25,000, I'm keeping the majority on Ethereum. And this is, by the way, a very small bag of my overall Ethereum budget. It's the one that I keep on my portfolio for active trading. So the majority of trades that I do, they last 1 day or two. Then I take my profits and then I rinse and repeat. And sometimes I put even more budget and then I just move on, and so it is, right? But Pepe is, for instance, a longer term allocation that I'm gonna keep right there. And perhaps I'm gonna DCA a little bit because I'm actually at a loss right now. Out of Bolt and Pepe, there's also another meme coin that I'm holding on Base. But as I said, it's a secret to my VIP group. So you're gonna find out what that is if you join my VIP group. Before I jump into the trades that I did, I wanna actually give you some sort of heads up on how to get started, etc. So maybe skim through it if you are not a beginner and if you know already what you're doing. But the way that you start is going on Dex Screener. On Dex Screener, you select the Base ecosystem, and here you're gonna be able to see all the Base tokens that you can trade. Base is a layer 2 for Ethereum, so it doesn't have its own Base token. It doesn't exist. Perhaps it's gonna be released by Coinbase at some point, but for now, it doesn't exist, so you're gonna be using Ethereum. Because of this, you need to find a hot wallet that supports Ethereum on the Base mainnet. I do recommend two wallets that I'm gonna show you right now. One is MetaMask, so you can just Google MetaMask. It's gonna be the first result, and you go on the website. I already have it, so it's just gonna go on my portfolio. But you can just simply click on here, and it's gonna link you to the Google Web3 extension. You're gonna download it, and then you're gonna select the Base mainnet. After selecting the Base mainnet, you can withdraw Ethereum on the Base mainnet. It's very important because Ethereum is of course on the ERC20 network by default, so you need to select the layer 2 Base mainnet on MetaMask. So what you gotta do is here on the expanded view of MetaMask, you click Base mainnet. You see there's a lot of networks that you can select. You just select Base mainnet, and that's pretty much it. Alternatively, you can also use Coinbase Wallet. I'm sure that the majority of people here is familiar with Coinbase Wallet, so I'm not gonna waste time on here. You can see here, if I just jump on a random project, you're gonna be able to copy and paste the contract address. So for instance, this is the page of Brett on DexTools. I click on Brett, I copy and paste, I go on Uniswap, and then if I just paste the contract address, I'm gonna be able to trade Brett. I just copied and pasted the contract address for Brett, and you can see that I can trade my Ethereum for buying Brett. So that is not that complicated. You just copy and paste the contract address right there. Then you confirm the transaction. Also make sure that the price impact is not that high. So Brett is obviously a big market cap coin, so it's not gonna have a lot of price impact. But if you're trading projects that are just launched or perhaps are even below 500K market cap, they're gonna have very little liquidity. So always make sure that the project has a good enough liquidity for for your transaction to go through without an excessive price impact. In the majority of cases, I don't recommend more than 5% in price impact, but sometimes you're gonna have to take a hit and maybe go even towards 8 to 10%. But a simple way to just avoid that is to trim down your entries. So just if you're looking to buy one Ethereum, just buy chunks of 0.3 or 0.2 Ethereum and then keep DCAing. Then a green candle pops up, wait for the red candle, and then you're gonna DCA in. And that is also what I recommend, because a lot of people actually think that they need to get out when the candles are red, but it's actually the opposite. When the candles are very green, you DCA out. When the candles are very red, you DCA in. Keep the chart healthy, and you also secure yourself a very good entry or exit plan. So the liquidity is very important. As I said, you can see it right here. I would also make sure that in the majority of cases, the liquidity is locked. So you're gonna see a lock next to the liquidity. You can see that in Brett, the liquidity is not locked. However, this is not always accurate. So take it with a pinch of salt, and also make sure to run bots or run websites. I'm gonna show you just a couple, and just take a look at liquidity in relation to the market cap. And for instance, if you see that the liquidity of a project is $1 or sub $1, it means that the project has rugged. Therefore, the dev has essentially pulled a rug. So he subtracted the liquidity. So your tokens, even if the market cap is in the millions or billions, the project is absolutely worthless, because although they have the monetary value, you don't have the liquidity to sell, so you just can't sell. So Token Sniffer is a website that I would use for hunting meme coins on Base, and it's actually very funny that the score of this project is 50 out of 100. Overall, it would be a terrible score. Anything below 100 is really a terrible score for Token Sniffer, but in this case, I would assume that the project is too big to fail. It's 1 billion plus, but you can see that the creator wallet contains a lot of the circulating supply, and there's less than 0.01% of burned in the last 15 days. Again, this is a project that is already big, so it doesn't really matter. But if you see a project that is new and has this score, just absolutely stay away from it, because there's probably the risk of a rug. So Token Sniffer is definitely something that I encourage people to use. And also the number of holders. Check the holders. And yeah, Brett has actually a lot of allocation to the founder, who is not even doc, so I can't even say who it is, but When you see that the holders have a significant amount of the supply, this is very important for your project. If the supply is very centralized, if all of the tokens are held by very few people, then there's a much bigger risk that these people are going to pull a rug on you and they're basically going to screw you over. And another red flag that I've seen so frequently is when you see a lot of wallet addresses right here that have the same amount of the supply. So if you see that there's 20 addresses that have 2% of the supply, it means that it's the same people. It's the dev that has basically split his wallet into even quantities to make sure that it doesn't raise a flag to the normies, to the people that don't understand these things. So people say, oh, okay, there's no significant wallet holding that big of a supply, but it's the same exact person. That is not a good sign, and that is another way in which the dev is going to be able to pull a rug. So what's the main way that I hunt for this project? So the first thing is hunting for trends. What was in trend in the last 7 days? The breadth narrative. So I focused almost entirely on the breadth narrative. I don't think that I even bought anything else other than the breadth narrative. Perhaps a couple projects actually, now that I think about it. But the majority of projects were surrounding the breadth narrative. So the first project that I bought to make my money was Balt. Balt is Brett's cat. There was a clear story that I liked, a character that, although made up, it just makes sense. The tokenomics also look good. I already made a checklist, so I covered that in the Solana video. It still applies for base, so I'm just not going to repeat myself just in case that you watch that video. But 0% tax, mint and freeze revoked, and this is so important because if the mint is not revoked, it means that the smart contract creator, the dev, can essentially mint new tokens, and your tokens are going to be more inflationary and they're going to lose value. And the freeze is even worse because it means that the dev can essentially pause all sorts of transactions. The liquidity pool burned, it means that they can't pull a rug. And supply 1 billion, it makes it very easy because the price is going to follow the market cap pretty much. So you can see 002 is 2 million. So if this goes to 1 billion, it's going to be $1, 500 million is going to be 50 cents, and so on and so forth. And Balt looked like a very healthy chart, and you're going to be able to see a very clear pattern right here that hopefully you're going to take out before the end of the video, otherwise I'm going to explain to you. But you can see that I bought around here. We've seen a big dump, like at least it was there in the 1 minute chart. There was a big seller. And this is the point in which I decided to get in. I said it before at the beginning of the video that I aim to buy projects when they're very much in the red, when big people dump. Okay, I want a big red candlestick for me to buy and put on a significant buy. And I only put 0.3 Ethereum. I went all in. I didn't give a fuck, man. I just went all in into this because I had a very, very good feeling. And I am able to see these trends before they kick off. I knew that the market was onto something, so I decided to go all in into this. And for good reason, because you can see that this is the moment in which I bought everything. This is the moment in which I sold everything. I split it into a few different sales because, of course, I don't want to cause a big dump myself. I'd rather DCA out a little bit, then some buyer comes in, I DCA out a little more, and then so on and so forth. It's pretty much the same pattern, rinse and repeat, but you can see that I pretty much did a 11 to 12x. That is pretty crazy. I would call it an 11x because, again, I didn't sell the very, very, very top, but it was a number of DCA sales, and because of it, it allowed me to get a very good exit price because I was leveraging all the buyers as my exit liquidity. And actually, I forgot one of the most important things. I took out my initial exactly at 3x. So I forgot to put it here, but here is where I pulled the initial out. And this is how it works. I put 1K, it does a 3x, I pull out 1K, so I have my initial investment out, meaning that if the project goes to zero, I'm breaking even, I didn't lose any money, I didn't gain any money, and it remained 2K invested into Balt. Then Balt went out to do another 2.5x out of this, so I kept taking my profits until I got completely out of the position. And for good reason, because then it pretty much crumbled down. And this is the way that it happens. There's big corrections following big pumps. Now, the correction here has been definitely stronger than what I would have hoped because the market has turned very red overall. And there was a lot of people, panicking because Bitcoin dumped to 65, 66K, whatever it came down to because of CPI data and all these things that made the market crumble down. But this is also the moment in which you're supposed to print the biggest amount of money, because if you buy the dips, you can actually make very good returns. So you can see here that if you bought the very dip and then sold the top, you would have made a 3x just out of this line, which is pretty insane if you ask me. I didn't do this thing when it comes to Bolt, but I actually did that thing when it comes to Bolt. Bolt is Brett's dog, so it's a very similar narrative. And I didn't get into Bolt immediately, although my group did, because another gem hunter in my team actually made the Bolt call, and this is also why my VIP group is so good. I have 4 people that work alongside me making calls. I've gathered the best professional meme coin traders that I know, and this is why my community is sprinting, because it's not just me, but it's my overall team that is making these calls and minting millionaires quite literally. So you can see here that the price dumped a whole lot, right? And I actually DCA'd even here. So this was the 2 moments in which I DCA'd. If you guys want to understand why Bolt dumped that much, and by the way, let me turn this light because I'm disappearing. Okay, that's better. So I bought this much because there was some FUD surrounding Bolt. So I clearly want you to understand here that one of the main ways to actually make money very quickly in the meme coin space is to buy the FUD. What was the FUD to buy when it comes to Bolt is the fact that one dev scammed another. Yes, I know, that is pretty much as dramatic as it goes, but it happened exactly like that. One of the dev rugged the other, and because of it, the community dumped and the price went down, I think, 80% in a matter of 24 hours. So my conclusion was this: okay, I'm just gonna accumulate and I'm gonna buy and try to time the bottom perfectly. I wasn't able to time it really perfectly, and this is why I DCA'd in. I put a small buy here, but I was thinking, wait, listen, it might actually dump a little further. So the day after, I went as close as possible. I think I timed the bottom quite perfectly. I think I bought here, it was 0012. It went up to 0008. I can't time it perfectly. Unfortunately, nobody can. If somebody tells you, oh, I time, that's bullshit, because no person can do it. But we can get as close as possible by doing DCAs, okay? So I did DCAs in, and I got as close as possible. And then, bam, look at what I did here. We did a 7x from the moment in which we bought the FUD to the moment of sell-off. Now, did I sell my entire Bolt? No, I did not. In fact, if you look at my portfolio, you can still see that I still hold a decent amount of Bolt. I hold 4.4K, but I actually bought even more when it came to that dip, and I decided to sell some and keep it on Ethereum because the trade was already very successful. So I decided to take my initial out and even some profits on top of it, and then let the rest of my bags run. And these bags are essentially running for free, meaning that if Bolt goes to 0, even from this point, I'm not going to be upset because I've already taken the initial out and even some profits out of it. So these were definitely 2 of the most successful trades, but you clearly see a pattern. So the patterns are buying the FUD and the narrative. I want you to focus on what narrative is hot in that specific moment. Right now, the narrative is Brett derivatives when it comes to the base ecosystem. You can see even here, Bolt is still trending in the base chart. It's number 13. I think it was even higher yesterday, but it's still occupying the top spots, and even the volume for the market cap that it is around 50%, so it's quite good. It's not like top quality volume to market cap ratio, but it's still very much up there. So buying the FUD and following the trends is what is going to help you to make a lot of money in your Ethereum wallet, and is going to put your portfolio to new highs. Even starting from very small like I did, I decided to just put 1K because why not? Let's just give it a go. That is pretty much pocket change for me. I would have been completely okay losing $1,000. It's not a big deal. But then I managed to make a 25x in just a matter of a week, which is pretty damn good for a week of work, if you ask me. And the way that I want to conclude this video is also showing you some other of the trades that I've done, because I've done so many, I can't even put them all in one single video. But what I can tell you is that the majority of these investments, at least the harsh reality, is that they're gonna go to 0. These are not bags that you're gonna keep for a variety of days, or that you buy and just you sleep at night. No, that is not the case, because these are investments that usually I'm gonna keep for a matter of 2 to 6 hours, and anything more than that is gonna be just for the long-term hold. So for instance, Pepe Blue, I'm okay keeping for a few months, and Bolt and Balt, they could be okay investments to keep for a month or 2. But for instance, I also invested into Brute, and this is a project that didn't rug, but it went very down from the all-time high. Why did I make so much money out of this investment? From the bottom to the top, it went almost 20x, but I took my profits very early and I just left a very, very tiny moonbug. So I could have actually made more money out of it, but I would much rather play it safe than just play it dangerously. So for instance, I remember I bought around here when it was 100K market cap or something like that. And when it was running up here, I took my initial out already, then it dumped again, and then it went up again. And here I took some other profits. So I was left with, I think, 30% of my bag or something like that. And then it just exploded. And when it was ranging here, I couldn't actually sell here because this was actually when I was live. So unfortunately, I couldn't sell it. But after it was ranging right here, I was like, okay, this could break out or could go to zero. But I'm already 20x or something with that very small bag that I left. It was like, okay, I could as well sell. I didn't sell because I thought that it was breaking out from this and just pumping to the stars. But then it actually dumped instead. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get out because it's just not worth it. I'm in very big of a return already. It's better to just get out of the trade right now. And this is exactly what I did. I could have made more money if I'd sold the top, but I took my risk and that's okay because I was already breaking even after pulling out my initial investment and I was already in profits. The moral of the story is don't be greedy. Take your profits when they're due. Don't take your initials out after, 3 or 4x. I think that the base ecosystem is a little safer than the one on Solana. I'm not seeing as many JITs and as many rugs as I'm seeing on the Solana ecosystem. I don't know why. Maybe because Solana is way easier to interact. Phantom Wallet is easier to use than MetaMask. So perhaps it could be because of that. Perhaps it could be because the ecosystem is still relatively new and a lot of people don't even know what the base ecosystem is. But what I can tell you, maybe if on Solana I'm taking out my initial at 2x, at base I would take my initial out at 3x. But that is of course very dependable on the market cap, on the expectations that I have out of the trade, and so on and so forth. And also a very important thing, set yourself a stop loss of some kind. And it doesn't have to be, a limit order because that's pretty much the only way that you can do that on Uniswap or whatever. But let's say that I bought at this level. I can draw a line here that is around 30% down, in which if the price goes to here, then my stop loss, which is pretty much in my mind, gets triggered. So I put a swap order and I sell to avoid the investment going to zero or going very much in the red, because that would be a little too much, okay? 30% is a very good arbitrary line, but I would suggest to just draw where the support zone is. So for instance, if I open this chart, there's actually a very good support zone that I see here that was hit 2 times. You can see the first time is here, the second time is here. So you can say that, okay, so if it breaks support and it's not a fake out, and it goes like this, then okay, I'm just going to sell because it broke down support. The next support zone is here, and this is too much. Okay, this is a danger zone, and I don't want to go that far down. That would also be a way of looking at things, but that is pretty much dependent on you. That's pretty much it for this video. I'm sure that you were able to take a lot of value. I thank you so much for watching until the end, and I'm going to remind you that all these gains, if you really want to print money with me and my community, this is the place to be. My VIP group is the place to get all my trading signals when it comes to Memecoin, so you're gonna be able to get the same gains that I was able to make in a matter of a week. And it's not just my trading signals actually, but a variety of other benefits that you see listed on the screen right here. You can pay with fiat, you can pay with crypto, and you can also get lifetime access, which is actually at a discount until the end of the weekend. So you might have very limited time to join at this limited price because it's going to be a race to 2,500 right after the weekend. So if you're too late, then the price has already been increased. So I would definitely not hesitate to join to avoid disappointment. You might have a once in a lifetime opportunity to create generational wealth this Memecoin super cycle, so you don't want to mess it up. I hope to see you there and help you out with your crypto investing journey. And until then, take care for now.